She knows better not to talk to me like that. You think I'm gonna let you talk to me like that? Girl, bye. My mom doesn't even talk to me that way. Hey guys, so today we are, sitting down. We are gonna have a cute little story time session because I recently got requested to do more high school experiences, and I've gotten requests to do like my high school experience and like more story times about like how I was in high school. Um I personally don't like talking about things that happened in high school just because, I mean, I've obviously done like significant things that have happened to me in high school, but I kind of don't like doing that because I feel like it's so old and it's just like kind of like juvenile at the same time. I don't know. I kind of go back and forth because some of the stories are pretty good, but then it's just like, oh my God, that's so like such a 16-year-old, like. But I always like to do what y'all request. I like, getting feedback. And of course, I am here for you. So if you want to know more story times about certain things, or if I've been through certain things, or any requests, let me know. Now, I forgot to say this in my last video. I recently found out about comments that are likely spam or held for review, and there's a lot. And I didn't realize that YouTube holds like anything for a review. Like, it'll be positive comments if y'all cuss too much in the comment. I've noticed that if you say more than 3 cuss words in a comment, you will get held for review or whatever. And links. If you leave links, if you have something that you want me to check out, if you have something like you want me to see, send it through DM on Instagram because it'll just hold it for review. I'm telling y'all, I try to get back to everybody, but YouTube just kind of be playing with me and doesn't like it. They won't show me my comments, so I'm not ignoring you. I promise you I'm not. Okay. I love talking to y'all in my comment section. I don't delete comments. I don't block comments. It is what it is. Say what you feel. The opportunity is open, okay? But anyway, so I got like a thing to do like my high school experience or whatever. And it's so funny. I swear like the world is listening because once I got that review, I got a Facebook request by this one teacher that can literally go sit somewhere. Like, I don't care. Like, she was probably the worst teacher I've ever had in my entire life. Like, she was the worst. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so this was my sophomore year of high school. Now let me tell you a little bit about Samantha in high school. My freshman and sophomore year, I was pretty much like on it. Like, I was, especially my freshman year, I was like kind of a nerd. Not so much because I liked school, just because I didn't have a choice. Like, my parents were not with it. Like, we weren't allowed to do anything. So all I did was play volleyball and do my homework. So it was like my freshman year, I was very much like that. My sophomore year, I started to get a little bit more friends and everything. But because my sister, Jesus, she would always tell me to take like smart classes for whatever reason. So I would take her advice and I got into honors English. Now, my parents were not playing with me. Like I said, my parents are very strict. So they weren't with this whole like, yo, we would get in so much trouble if we got written up. Like, if we brought a write up home, like if we like were chewing gum or something, like my parents did not take that stuff lightly. So I would usually be on my best behavior, but something about me is like, even my mother is not like, when I feel offended or I feel like something, like if I feel disrespected, I could care less about who or what I'm gonna get in trouble. Like, that's not what we're gonna do. So we're gonna call this teacher, I really should use her real name, but I'm not even gonna violate because I'm above this. So we're gonna call her Miss Revlon. We're gonna call her Miss Revlon, okay? So Miss Revlon taught honors English and just like, I think regular English or something. And she was one of those like young teachers. She was really young. Like, she was 23 or 24, which I think about that now. Like, I'm 22 and I couldn't imagine being a teacher to high schoolers. So, not that I give her a little bit of like slack because she was just not a good person. But I mean, I couldn't imagine teaching kids like so close in age to me. So Miss Revlon, she was really, really young, and she would teach honors English. Now she was just this short little old lady. She wasn't old. She was this short little girl, and she was just so annoying. Oh my god. She was literally the now that I'm older, I'm just like, you're that kind of type. So she was the one that would wear like the little emblems with like her like initials, where like I think it's like your middle name goes, or your last name goes really big. I'm gonna find a picture. She would wear those. She would be, very much sorority girl kind of. She was given that, okay? Like, she would try to be trendy so bad. She was very like snooty and uppity for literally no reason. Like, you're an English teacher in a public school. Like, calm down, right? So, whatever. That's the kind of vibe she gave. Now, I was in an honors English class. So we had a lot of smart kids. And when I say like smart kids, I'm talking about like kids that should really take over the world. Like, oh my God. Now, if you knew anything about the class that I was in, everybody was pretty smart in like my class, like the class of 2016, but literally nobody cared. Like, I went to school with this dude, like I'm pretty sure he has the cure for cancer in like a notebook of his that he wrote on accident, and his GPA was like a 1.5. Like, that's the kind of smart I'm talking about. These people, like, the people in that class were just ridiculously smart for no reason, because they could have cared less. They were so smart that they would tell her to her face that they're not doing her homework. That's the kind of teacher I had. And then these are the kind of students that were in that class, right? So she always had an attitude, which, I mean, I would get it too if I'm trying to teach these kids and these kids are basically telling me like the work that I'm assigning are a waste of their time and they're like 16. Like, yeah, I would be mad too. But we'll get into like why she's just a joke. So there was this dude who actually ended up being our valedictorian come our senior year. He was so smart, like so freaking smart, okay? And we had to write a 3-page paper. When I tell you, I remember this day like it was yesterday. We had to write a 3-page paper. We had to turn it in. And once she revised it and graded it, we had to be in groups and we had to pretty much like redo the paper that she graded. She wanted us to do the paper twice. So basically she was critiquing our rough drafts and grading it, and then she was gonna, do our final drafts. So we were all sitting in this group. We got to pick our groups, and it was me, the valedictorian. We're just gonna call him valedictorian, and this other boy, I'm gonna call him Shy. Shy. So it was me, valedictorian, and Shy. So basically, and then it was like 2 other people, but I don't remember the 2 other people because they weren't that relevant into this part. So when we got our papers back, it was a 3-page paper. So when we got our papers back, the valedictorian, he got an F on the paper because he wrote 5 pages instead of 3. And we were just all like, what? Like, how did you get an F for doing like more than what you should have done? So basically, he was very upset because he was very quiet, non-confrontational. Like, he was just, how like most valedictorians are, like they're just really into their grades. And like, when I got an F, I was just like, dang, that's crazy. When he got an F, like you could tell he was ready to go home and cry. So when you could just see the hurt in his face. And so he asked her, he was like, hey, Ms. Revlon, like, what happened? Like, I thought I went in very much detail, blah, blah, blah. And she was just like,
you didn't follow directions. If I told you to do a 3-page paper and you turned in 5, like, I'm not reading a 5-page paper when I asked you for 3.
When I tell y'all, that was just the type of person she was. Like, Oh my God. It's not even like you were a teacher, like you're trying to make this a teachable moment or anything. You just want to be a B word, like so bad. Like she just like looked at him and she was just like,
I'm not reading a 5-page paper when I asked for 3.
so he was just like, so I'm gonna get an F. Like this is gonna be a big portion of my grade. I'm gonna get an F because like I did too much work. And so Shy, he was another one. He was not playing no games with nobody. So he was just like, isn't that the point? Like, isn't that what y'all tell us to do? We're supposed to like exceed your expectations. That's what like teachers are supposed to teach us to do, like go above and beyond and don't slack off or whatever. And so she turns to him and she was just like,
if you're concerned about your paper, then worry about your paper. But don't worry about your classmates' paper.
and so me and Shy, we're basically, this was none of our business, but at the same time, we knew that the valedictorian, he was not gonna like defend himself. So we took it upon ourselves to, basically fight for the people. So I was just like, he has a point though. Like, you're literally gonna give somebody an F. You're not even gonna let him like redo it or at least give him like a B or something. Like, you're really gonna give him an F for exceeding your expectation. Like, when half the class didn't even do your paper because this is what I was telling her. Like, when half the class told you they weren't gonna do your paper because it was a waste of their time. And I'm not joking, like I'm being so serious. Like the class did, like the people in the class would tell her that they're not doing her work because it's like stupid. The prompt was stupid, or it's just like trivial. Like they would go in on this lady. So it was just like, it bothered me that like other people aren't even taking your work serious and you're literally gonna fail somebody because they did more than what you expected them to do. Like, so basically, she was basically telling me and Shy to mind our business, that it wasn't our paper and it wasn't our grade or whatever. So I was just like, all right, cool. Like, so since we're okay, like, since you're okay with doing the bare minimum, like, we don't have to do this work. We're going to be like the rest of the other groups in here. Like, I'm not joking. The other people, like, there was this one group of guys, they would literally play Pokemon cards in her class. They were so smart. They could have cared less about what she was teaching. They were playing Pokemon in her class. So basically, like, I was just turned because I'm like, yo, literally, like, you're really gonna be like this right now? So I was just like, all right, cool. I'll just be sure to do the bare minimum of your class because it doesn't mean anything anyway when you do the work. So she got all offended and, just like what scary people do, they go and they email your mother, right? So she basically emails my mom and she tells her that I had an outburst in class and that she would like, she would tell me certain things and I just wouldn't listen to her and blah, 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 blah. So obviously I got in trouble at home because my mom was like over here, like, I'm gonna go to the school, you're over here talking back to your teachers, da 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 da. And I was trying to, plead my case to my mom, like, mother, she was rude and this boy wasn't gonna defend her. And then so my mom was over here like, you're not a lawyer, you don't need to be defending people, blah blah blah. And I'm just like, lady, it's the principle of the thing. Like, no, I am gonna fight for people. Like, no, you're not gonna sit here and bully your students, ma'am. So I just got so angry, like, with everybody. I got so mad at my mom. I got so mad at the teacher because I'm just like, you guys are literally the reason why people don't try. So whatever. I got in trouble with my mom. My mom scheduled a parent-teacher conference with Miss Revlon, but it was going to be at the end of the week. So I had a little attitude problem. Well, I still have a little attitude problem, but like in high school, it was way worse. I got offended that you're going to sit here and talk, you're gonna email my mom, really? Okay, so tell her the side of the story that, whatever. So I went into class and I just didn't say anything. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and say anything to this teacher. So she wanted to do this little participation Jeopardy thing. And I just wasn't with it. I didn't want to do her stupid Jeopardy game. And I just didn't want to participate in class that day. So she was like, Samantha, like she called my name for something and I was just like, I'll pass. And she was like, you can't pass. And I'm just like, okay, well, I don't know the answer to the question. So, like, you know when teachers do that, when they want to make an example out of you. They know that you're not in the mood. And that's what I'm saying. Like, teachers are so petty. You know I'm not in the mood. You know I really don't mess with you. Like, you know what's up. And you keep trying me because you're a teacher and you think, like, this is going to work. Like, no. So, she was just doing all that. And I was just like, I told you, like, I don't know the answers, blah, blah, blah. So, she was like,
okay, well, you need to step outside.
so I was just like, okay, whatever, I'll step outside. Usually when teachers tell you to step outside, they just made you stay out there for like the rest of the class period and you just didn't get the notes or whatever, like stupid. But she wanted to come out and talk to me. So I was just like, okay, like whatever. Now, mind you, me and her had already had like our few little interactions because I had mentioned one day about like when I go to college, when I thought I was going to go to college, about joining a sorority, and she had made a side comment like,
if they let you in, like it takes a certain type of person to be in a sorority,
because she was in some unknown sorority. I bet you anything she made it up. And so, because she got offended that people were saying the Greek alphabet wrong. Like, I forgot to mention, she would constantly call us like stupid Americans and tell us that like we shouldn't go abroad because we're embarrassing. Mind you, she was American as well. And like it would be stuff like that. She would just say like really inappropriate, rude stuff to us. Oh my god, Miss Revlon was seriously so stupid. So she got mad because people were saying the Greek alphabet wrong, and she was just saying that like sororities take it serious. And I was basically saying like I can't wait till I get in a sorority because I had seen so many things about deltas, and like all I knew about sororities is that they danced at parties. So I was like, oh yeah, I can't wait to get in a sorority. And then she was just basically telling me like, oh, if you even get in, because it's exclusive and it takes a certain type of person to join a sorority, and blah, 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 blah. She wanted to be like that girl. Like nobody knows your sorority. Like yeah, I don't know sororities either, but I'm pretty sure y'all's was like the lame one that didn't even get invited to the parties. So whatever. Even I know that's not what all sororities are for, okay? Like I know y'all do great in the community. Thank you. So yeah, she made that side comment that I wouldn't get picked in a sorority. So we and her had already got our interactions. So when I was outside in the hallway, I was just basically chilling. Like I was just outside. So she comes outside and she's basically like telling me like I have a problem. Like I need to apply myself because my work that I would turn in didn't it wasn't like consistent with my attitude and my personality. Like she was basically saying like I'm one way in my work and then I'm another way in person, and I'm just like, duh, because I don't like you. Like, and I'm actually like, contrary to popular belief, I'm actually a very good writer. So it was just like when I would turn things into her, she'd be impressed, but then she didn't like my personality, so she would be like, oh, B- because I'm gonna say your stuff is cute, but it's not that cute. Like that's the vibes that I got from her, which I don't even care. So she was just going on and on about that. But there got a point into the conversation where she was talking to me. I will remember this day forever. Me and her were like face to face, and she's like looking at me. I don't even remember where the conversation went, but all I hear is,
do you understand what I'm saying to you?
and I'm just like, I'm not dumb. And like, girl. So I'm like, I'm not dumb. And Miss Revlon, my oldest sister is older than you, and she doesn't talk to me this way. So you're definitely not gonna talk to me that way, because who does that? You would never do that to somebody. Like, I bet you anything, if she was out like in a restaurant or in like a club, I don't know what she did on her free time, but you would not be sitting telling here anybody your age talking about, do you understand what I'm saying to you? Like, oh my god, like that set me off. And I was a hothead in high school. So she was doing all that. So I got so angry with her, and that's why I told her, I was like, don't talk to me like that. Like, my sister is like 5 years older than you, and she knows better not to talk to me like that. You think I'm gonna let you talk to me like that? Girl, bye. My mom doesn't even talk to me that way. So I was just like, oh no, ma'am. And so her response to that was,
I'm not one of your classmates, so I will speak to you this way.
And I was like, no, you are absolutely right. Because if you were one of my classmates, I would have been smacked you, Miss Revlon. So that's what you want to do. Like, you want to do this whole little passive aggressive thing. Like, yeah, what's up? Like, So she was just like, okay. She was like,
I'm meeting with your parents on Friday. Until then, we can meet with the principal as well, since you're threatening
what she said? I was threatening an administrative person. She tried to give herself a bigger title than what she was. Girl, you are an English teacher. Just say what it is. I threatened you as a teacher, and I didn't threaten you. I said if you're one of my classmates, that's what happened. But you're not one of my classmates, so it's not gonna happen. So technically, it's not really a threat now, is it? But you know everything, right, Miss Sorority English teacher? Oh my gosh, she's so stupid. I hated her. So I had to go like the end of the period or whatever. She added that to the list of things that she wanted to email my mom that day. My mom got so mad at me or whatever. So here comes the time that my mom and my dad have to go talk to this lady, and I had to be there. Now, this was the thing with me and parent-teacher conferences, because that was my first rodeo. You can say whatever it is that you want. You could tell my parents this, that, and the third. My parents can threaten to take my phone. They can threaten to take my car. They can threaten to take my life, okay? But I'm going to be way worse to you when my parents are there than I would when they're not. Because what you're not going to be able to do is lie. At least if my parents are there and I show myself and I show out, they saw exactly what I did and exactly what I said. And you can't lie, because this lady loved to lie. So when we get to the parent-teacher conference, her whole mood changed, right? She's over here telling my parents. She pulled out like work that I did, and she was like,
she's such an amazing student as far as her work ethic and as far as what she turns into me. What we actually have trouble with is her attitude. She doesn't seem to apply herself, and she lacks a little bit of discipline in the respect area.
And I'm just like sitting here, and like my parents are over here eating it up. I'm just like, all right, cut, scene over. No. So I was just like, oh, well, you also failed to mention, you want to say that I lack respect and discipline, but you also failed to mention the things that you've said to me, because you never told me how great my work is. You've told me that, I wouldn't be accepted in a sorority, and, do you want to tell my parents the way that you told me? You asked me if I understood the way I was talking to you. And so, of course, she was just like,
I don't recall, but I want to say that you are wonderful. You have so much potential, blah, blah, blah.
And I was just like, that's crazy. I have so much potential today, but, just the other day when you told me I wouldn't get into a sorority, where was my potential then?
I keep harping on the sorority thing because that's what she said personally to me, but she would constantly tell other people, like make fun of their outfits, say that none of us are going to make friends when we go to college because we're so immature. Like, she would be just an all-round mean girl. Like, I can't stress that to y'all enough.
So I'm flipping it back on her, because I'm just like, oh no, man, what we're not about to do is sit here and lie in front of my parents and say all this stuff about all this potential and all this stuff that I have. Why don't you tell my parents exactly what you told me? Because you're weird and you get bold when, you're talking to 15-year-olds in the hallway by yourself, but when it's time for you to really shine, you're mute, right? Like, what happened? What happened? So basically, my mom gets so embarrassed. Like, my dad likes making scenes and stuff. My mom gets so embarrassed. She's like, Samantha, stop it now, stop. She gets so mad at me, but I live to tell the truth. I will die by the truth, okay? So I was just telling her that, and so then she wanted to end the parent-teacher conference, basically, like,
I feel like we should leave off on a clean slate, and we should really just we should start fresh and everything.
I'm just like, it's like halfway through the year. Ain't nobody starting fresh with you, lady. Like, what? So after that, like, my parents kind of saw like what I was working with, and they were seeing like what it was, so they kind of took my side a little bit. I still got in trouble for, you know, embarrassing my mom, but at the end of the day, like, it was worth it because I told my side. But now, fast forward, that was like what year? 2014. It's 2020, like 6 years ago. Now she's going to try to add me on Facebook. Girl, no. No. Her and her JoJo Siwa ponytails can go somewhere. So, yeah, that's my experience with one of the worst teachers ever. And that's the thing, like, teachers are getting younger and younger and younger. I know people my age that are teachers for like middle schoolers and high schoolers, and I'm just like, see, no. Because, like, I get, like, being a teacher, I have a lot of respect for teachers now that I'm older. I could never do their job just because, like, kids are really disrespectful. But I don't feel like I was disrespectful. I was, you know, I was just trying to be a good classmate to my friend. Like, me and him were cool. Like, what? Like, you know what I'm trying to say? But teachers really be trying it, and it is what it is. At the end of the day, like, you don't need to be like, don't be like one of those kids. Like, it's not cute to be one of those kids that are telling them to shut up and all this other stuff. But stand your ground. Don't let anybody talk to you like this. Like, yeah, no. I hope you guys enjoyed this story time. I'm not promoting anybody to be disrespectful to teachers, by the way. You should never be disrespectful to teachers. Actually, by the time I got in, like, I was a senior, I just kind of shut up. And I would do a lot of things differently in high school, but that one, we could, Miss Revlon, we could still square up any day of the week. Like, I still hold that grudge to this day because you were just a witch with a capital B. So anyway, that's it to this story time. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.